What is going on, guys? It is me, D63 Block, and I'm back with another video. Today, we're going to be ranking everything Star Wars. Not everything. Just the movies and TV shows, specifically. But we're going to be ranking them. We're doing a tier list today. Very excited for this video. I love Star Wars. It's probably my favorite movie franchise of all time. And TV show. Thing. I don't know. We're going to be ranking everything. So the movies and the TV shows. I'm not including the minor TV shows like some of the newer stuff. It's weird, but the major stuff that has been put out for Star Wars is on the list, and I'm just doing a tier list based on it. And we're gonna go through it because I want to see what I put, because I think I have a good idea, but we'll see. And then I'll edit the tier list at the end to make it more final, I should say. But if you guys do enjoy tier lists, please leave a like and subscribe. That'd be greatly appreciated. Trying to push out some more content. And here we go. Okay, do we want to... I'm going to do this in order. I believe I'm going to do this in order. Yeah. Okay, I guess we can do it in order. Phantom Menace. I do want to make another tier. Add a row below. It's the F. Oh. I'm just gonna add an F tier because I just don't. I gotta have a place for some movies, because if there isn't an F tier, there's movies on here that are F tiers. So, Phantom Menace is a C tier. Debating between C and D, because Duel of the Fates is so good, and the Darth Maul fight with Qui-Gon Jinn and Anakin Skywalker. Obi-Wan Kenobi, I mean. Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi versus Darth Maul is a really good lightsaber fight, and Duel of the Fates is a really, really good theme for it. I gotta put it in D. I mean, it's just a D tier movie for me. I don't really enjoy it a ton. The only reason I'd watch that movie is for the final fight, which is pretty much the only good thing about the movie, in my opinion. And I think it's widely accepted as the worst movie of the prequels. But yeah, I think I'm going to put it in D tier. Where is Attack of the Clones? Attack of the Clones, C tier. I think it's just a tier above Phantom Menace. I think Phantom Menace is just a worse version of Attack of the Clones. I think Attack of the Clones just offers a lot more. The Battle of Geonosis is really good, and I like Jango Fett being in the movie a lot, especially with, just the battles in general are very good in this movie. I think Anakin is really, really cringy in this movie with all of his sand quotes and just various weird lines with Padme. I think that's really weird and poorly done. I think it really takes away from the movie, but the battles are actually not bad. I think this is a little bit underrated for what people give it, because a lot of people really don't like this movie, which it's a C tier movie for me. Revenge of the Sith is an S tier movie. Okay, if you don't, it has to be at least an A. If you're a real Star Wars fan, you have to put Revenge of the Sith at least at A tier, because it is an at least A tier movie, and if you really know lore, this is the most lore-filled Star Wars movie out there. It is so great. It has the greatest lightsaber fight of all time, and in my opinion, between Anakin and Obi-Wan. It has the creation of Darth Vader, which is pretty cool, I would say. And it's just it's so cool to see Order 66, how ingenious it was plan-wise by Palpatine. It's really cool to see that. And it's just a really good movie. I love the storyline of Anakin just slowly turning, and then finally he jumps the line to become a Sith and Darth Vader. It's just a really well done movie, and I do think it is an S tier movie in the Star Wars franchise. 4, A New Hope is an A tier movie. I think maybe it's a B. I think I'll give it an A because it's kind of what started it all. And I'm going to edit this at the end because I want to compare these to what I end up putting in each tier. But I really like A New Hope. It's obviously the first Star Wars movie I ever watched. It's really good. The only thing that lacks, and I'm not gonna blame it because it was in 1977, but like the combat with like Vader and Obi-Wan had a very very boring lightsaber fight, but that's okay because it's 1977 and the effects were not there for a massive fight like in the other ones. So I really like the story. It's the classic Death Star story. Go in, blow up the Death Star. Or wait, no. Yeah, yeah. You go in, you have to figure out what's going on with the Death Star. You have the whole Obi-Wan teaching Luke thing, which is really cool. It's really good to see. And then he makes subtle references to Darth Vader as Anakin's father, but obviously don't find that out until Empire, which is a very good movie. But yeah, I think it's gonna go firmly in A. It's a really good movie. It's a solid movie. Actually, no, it's a really good movie because it's an A tier. Empire is an S tier. I think this is widely regarded as the greatest Star Wars movie of all time, and I can completely see why. I just disagree. I think literally it's so close between Revenge of the Sith and Empire Strikes Back that it comes down to the backstory and the lore around the movie. I really like Empire. It is a very good movie. The storyline is just amazing, and it really sets up Return of the Jedi really well. But I still think it's a notch below Revenge of the Sith. But for its time, my oh my, is that a good movie? Because I do think it is firmly an S tier with Revenge of the Sith, but I think I'm going to leave Revenge of the Sith above it. That's just my personal opinion. A lot of people think Empire is the best movie, though, out there, obviously. Return of the Jedi is, I think, at top of A tier. It's definitely better than A New Hope. I like not Revenge of the Sith. Return of the Jedi, I like it more than A New Hope. I just think it's purely because you get to see the final culmination of what the entire original trilogy was all about. It's about Luke, his development as a Jedi, and you finally get to see him and Darth Vader's redemption as he goes back to the light side. It's a really, really well done movie, and I think it's just a notch above A New Hope just because a lot more things happened, and I think it's just I guess the stuff with the Sarlacc pit, everything from the Sarlacc pit to even the throne room fight to where Vader ends up chucking Palpatine over the side. I just think that it's a slight notch above A New Hope. It does more for me in terms of storyline, and I could see people putting A New Hope above it, but I'm not going to. I like Return of the Jedi more. I'd rewatch Return of the Jedi more than A New Hope. I think I'm just gonna go now based on, do I want to do the sequels first? Yeah. Okay, Force Awakens is a C tier movie, and it's below Attack of the Clones for me. Okay, I think the sequel trilogy as a whole is worse than the prequels. Obviously, Revenge of the Sith carries most of the prequels in general, but I really do think that the sequels were awful. Like, I'm a firm believer that the sequels are the worst set of Star Wars movies out of the three trilogies, and when I saw this movie, when I saw Force Awakens, my first thought instantly went, it's a copy of A New Hope. It is a carbon copy. You have Starkiller Base, which is literally the Death Star, and you have the same storyline as A New Hope. So or roughly the same thing. And it really just is, it didn't do it for me when I first saw it in the theaters, and I still don't like it to this day. I think it's below Attack of the Clones. Last Jedi is the worst Star Wars movie ever made. Honestly, I made the F tier specifically to put Last Jedi in F tier. It is so bad. Like, it is awful. Luke Skywalker was treated so horribly in the sequel trilogy. They tried to fix it in Rise of Skywalker, but my oh my, is he such a grumpy old man in The Last Jedi. It is unbelievable. It is not Luke. I don't even consider this movie to exist in my mind because it is so bad. And and the storyline's awful. Snoke dying is the stupidest thing ever. They built him up to be some powerful guy with the Force, and he literally just gets instantly destroyed. So I never understood this movie. If you like this movie, I think honestly you're crazy, because this is a horrible movie. I probably should have done these first because it's before the sequels, but that's okay. Rise of Skywalker is bad, but I think it's a D tier movie. Like, I could see why people like this movie. It's definitely it's more of a, man, I don't know how to put it, but it really does nothing, if that makes any sense. Palpatine does the exact same plan he's done 3 times for the 3rd time. He's doing it for the 3rd time, with trying to establish an apprentice that is somewhat strong. He does it again, and he fails for a 3rd time, which is just one of the dumbest things I've seen. Like, who would have thought to do that again? It is a copy and paste, much like Force Awakens, but in this movie, it really shows how they made Rey way too overpowered way too quickly. I think Rey is one of the worst characters to be a main character, if that makes any sense, because she learns to be so overpowered so quickly. And I don't like that. It's not good. It's just not good in general. But the movie, meh. I think it's worse than Force Awakens, and that's why I'm putting it in D tier. I think it's the 2nd worst out of the sequel trilogy. Okay, now we get to the standalone movies. Rogue One is good. I'm going to put Rogue One in B tier. I don't think it's an A tier movie. You had the awesome Darth Vader scene at the end where you can really see the actual Darth Vader with newer age effects rather than the 70s and 80s effects for him, and it really makes him look how he actually is power-wise. And I really like that movie. It's a good movie. I'm not going to really talk about it much because it is a standalone movie about getting the plans to the Death Star, so I'm kind of not really going to talk about it much, but I do think it's a B-tier movie. Characters, I didn't really like the characters, but the movie's story and plot really carries the weight, and I think that's the reason why it's a B-tier for me. Solo, Solo is honestly low C. Like, I didn't care about this movie. When I saw this movie, I just honestly didn't care. I think this is a really pointless movie. You could disagree with me, but I really think it's pointless. It does nothing for the character of Han Solo for me. Sure, it shows him when he's young, but honestly, I didn't need to see that. I think they could have done a much more interesting movie than a prequel Han movie. So I don't know. I'm going to lay it in C tier. This video is getting long, so I'm not going to go in this, but I think it's a C tier movie. Didn't really do much for me. Rebel, I'll do Rebels first. Rebels is B. I actually didn't mind Rebels. A lot of people don't like, I think the biggest fault of Rebels is the animation style, which I completely understand. It's very respectable to not like the animation style and wonder why they didn't do the Clone Wars animation style, which completely makes sense. Like, that is a very fair argument. I think it did a really good job storyline building wise. You have very interesting characters. Ezra ends up completely being lost with Grand Admiral Thrawn in the end, and I think it sets up perfectly for the Ahsoka show. I'm very excited for that, and it sets that up perfectly. Having Ahsoka in that series, very nice. They did a very good job on it. The animation style really takes away a little bit from the series for me, so that's the reason why it's going in B, but I really like the series. It's a good series. Clone Wars is S tier. You get to see the nitty-gritty of Star Wars and a lot of the backstory for the prequels, or I guess in between Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. You get that backstory in the Clone Wars, and I watched that so much when I was even younger, and it is such a good series. It does so much. It adds so much content to the Star Wars universe that we just didn't have before, and the ending is phenomenal with Maul and Mandalore in that story. and Order 66 with Ahsoka. It's a phenomenal ending. From the time jump also forward to where Darth Vader picks up her lightsaber and looks at Morai, the owl, in the sky. It's a very good ending, very beautiful ending. But it adds so much content, and it is such good content too. It's not bad content, and it is so good. I couldn't recommend an animated series more than Clone Wars. It's very good, so it's going in S tier. I think Mandalorian is firmly in top of A tier. I think the only thing keeping this from S tier content, I think, is the filler episodes. I think that season 2, episode 2, so I think it's chapter 10. I think it's chapter 10 with the spiders was the worst episode. It was awful. It was complete filler, and I really didn't enjoy that. And I think some of the first season episodes were a little bit like that, which is the only thing keeping it from S tier. But man, what a great series. Like, this series has so much potential going forward. It's already an A tier series for me, and we're only 2 seasons in. I can't wait for more content. We'll see how it ends up, but I think it firmly is an A tier at the top because it is really good content. Especially with the finale, very good finale for season 2. It's going in A tier. It's a really good series. Okay, I think that does it. And I don't think I'm going to edit this too much. F. That's fair. That's fair. Also fair. I think this is good. I think this is good. I think I'm going to leave this how it is. And I think I might have missed something. This list seems a little short, but I think I'm going to leave this as the final tier list. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to make your tier lists. And I don't know, just make it for yourself. See what you think. Comment down below what you disagree with me about. I'm sure there's going to be disagreements, especially with Empire Strikes Back and Revenge of the Sith. But yeah, leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. I'll see you guys in the next one. Please like and subscribe. That'd be greatly appreciated. And I'll see you guys in the next one.